Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is my day 3 and today I'm going to be talking about the moment where I came to realize that I had to start over. And I'll never forget it. So, this is a hard one. It was a regular day when I was sitting in my car and I was staring at my bank account, realizing that I didn't have enough money to pay my bills. I had spent so much time grieving and so much time lost in survival mode that I didn't realize that I had come to a point where I had stopped living. I had a choice though. Either keep sinking or just start climbing. And I won't lie, climbing, it did feel impossible at that time. But that day I decided I wasn't going to let life defeat me. I was going to change things. So, as I told you before in my previous videos, I've had a lot of life changes, but one that I actually saw a shift was when my husband had a brain bleed, and that left him in a long-term nursing facility for years after that. He did develop dementia, Parkinson's, and renal failure while he was there. And so I watched him go from a vibrant middle-aged man to a helpless person that really needed people around the clock to care for him. In the beginning in the nursing home, he wore diapers. He had a feeding tube. He also would be lifted by a crane, and he would be bathed and all that type, taken to the shower and all that, in a wheelchair. And then he'd come back and he would once again lie there until it was time for therapy. And therapy was so painful for him at the time that he really didn't give much to it. And so the healing process was very, very short because it didn't work. My husband was a very stubborn man, a very vocal man, and he had a lot of demons that he was fighting at the time. And so he thought that people were trying to hurt him or get over on him or mistreat him. And so therefore he wouldn't cooperate, and he could not understand that it was for his betterment, but he couldn't get that in his head. So there was very, very little chance for him to recover. And I had to literally watch that happen. I would talk and beg and come on, let's do this therapy, come on, and no success whatsoever. He would have these angry spurts where he would take, if he had lunch and he had a milk carton on his tray, if someone came into his room without knocking, he would throw it at them. He thought that he could walk, and so he would try to get up out of his wheelchair, and he would literally fall. At one particular point, he did fall, and his leg, he fell on his left leg, but his right leg swole, And once that happened, he did go to the hospital, and they looked at it and all, but they sent him back home. And then a day or two later, the opposite leg turned black. And so, with him having renal failure, the only thing that they could do at that point is suggest that he amputate that leg. And he would not do that. He would not let them take his leg. And so you had to watch that deteriorate. And it did. And ultimately led, along with all the other ailments, to his demise. And so, let me talk about some steps that I had to take to move forward, because obviously he wasn't trying to. So, what was my breaking point? Well, I guess that was my breaking point. I had to accept that life had changed and that we weren't going to go backwards. And so the only thing that we could do was to go forward. I had to start one step at a time. I couldn't worry about the whole change or the whole journey. I had to just take little small steps at a time. And I had to find a purpose. I had to find new passions, or I had to see if I could rise again to the top. And so that's one thing that I really, really honed in on. It took a while. Again, I would take little small jobs, overnight jobs, whatever it is to try to get back on my feet. But I never found a job that would pay me the money that I needed to make to be able to sustain myself. I had a beautiful 4-bedroom home with 3 bathrooms. It had a family room. It had a 2-car garage, and it was over 3,000 square feet. I ultimately lost that home because I couldn't afford to pay for it. And I think that was the time when I said, no more. I can't do this anymore. That house had beauty. And I ended up in a position where it is that I couldn't give. And so therefore I ended up hurting a lot of people because I just couldn't pull myself out of it. So, and that's the breaking point itself. So, I had to do that. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask, if you're at your breaking point, just know that you're not alone. I've been there. But also believe that you could do it. Believe that you could do it. And go ahead and drop a comment below. What's one thing you need that will help you to start over? Let's talk about it. You know, this particular channel is going to be a calming channel to help a lot of people, because my situation is death of a spouse. Whereas the world at this particular point, there are natural disasters that are causing a lot of pain and grief. There are job losses with this new administration, as I stated before. I mean, unexpected job losses within the federal government, within the education system. There are those who are being deported. Families are being broken apart. There are many, many things that are happening today that are causing pain or causing people to rethink the value of life, rethink their situation, rethink their next steps. And it is taking a toll as never before. Whereas there are those who are losing family members, brothers and sisters. Brothers are being killed in the street, especially black men. The Hispanic community is doing the same thing. They're losing their men. And so, how do you start over when something like that happens? What do you do? Your childhood home, the home that that your grandparents built, that's been passed down generations, has burned to the ground. What do you do? How do you start over? You have a job, and you may have been there, years, and you thought that you would retire and that you would never have to worry about money. But now you've been abruptly torn apart from that job, from that position, and you loved it. It wasn't just a job, it was something that you enjoyed doing, something that you liked. But that is there no more. Please go ahead and put in the comments some of the things that you're dealing with and some of the struggles that you're facing. Maybe you can't buy food. Maybe it is you can't pay your bills. Maybe you just lost your car. Don't know. I mean, there's all kind of situations of loss. There's all kind of things that are going on at this particular time that makes us stop and say, what do I do next? How do I handle it? Again, I have started digital marketing, and I will be showing how digital marketing has changed my life and how it can change yours as well. So look forward to my ebook coming. I will have a couple of how-to classes coming up. I will also be setting up some PDFs and some courses and things of that nature. So if that's something that interests you and it's something that you would like to start, it's something that you would be interested in, please drop a comment. Again, it's something that I'm finding to work for me and work for my family. Again, all my children are grown and gone, and all I have is my 4-month-old granddaughter. But I'd like to build something for her. I would like to find a house where I could put a swing in the backyard for her to swing on. I would like to get her a little trampoline or something that she could play with. Again, she's a little one. I have so much to give to her. And so life has come back alive once again for me, because the things that I the things that I was not able to give to my children, I hope to be able to give to my granddaughter. Again, she's the love of my life, and we are going to take care of her, show her the love that she deserves, as well as self-care for myself. And I'll take you along and we'll share those times together. If it is that you have any suggestions, I do welcome them. If it is that you have found any tips and tricks, I welcome them. I do not or will not accept meanness or hateful speech. Again, this is a channel that is helping to build people up and not to push them further down into the ground, make them feel any lowlier than what they already feel. This is a growth channel, and I am trying to provide a direction to pull yourself up out of the mire and enjoy life again. We will do whatever it takes, whether it be massages or shopping or cooking or whatever it takes to make us feel whole again. If we need to open up some classes, we will definitely do so. I will go ahead and refer you to some self-help books that have helped me to get along. And we're going to enjoy this channel. And please, go ahead if you would. Share this channel out. Please go ahead and let your friends and family know about this channel. Again, we are all facing difficult times, but it may be different for each one of us. As I state, it may be job loss, loss of a spouse, loss of a child, loss of a parent, loss of a home, loss of a job, and the losses could go on and on and on. But just something that made you shift in your perspective as far as how life was supposed to be. It is no longer a fairy tale. This is reality. And so how do we get from the gloom and doom of it all to I can make it, I'm going to be all right, I have the Almighty on my side, and I am going to make this work? How can we do that? What steps can we take? Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button if this is something that you're interested in. Again, share this particular video out. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, please, just go ahead and tell others. Please tell others. I would greatly appreciate if it is that we could come up with a forum that we could talk and encourage one another to make some changes as far as our perspectives on life after loss. Always remember, keep climbing. Your success awaits.